A surge of anti-Semitism on college campuses has led to a so-called donors' revolt in protest of how university officials were handling these incidents. Penn's president Elizabeth McGill resigned after a pressure campaign that was led by Apollo chair Mark Rowan, who called for fellow alumni to donate just $1 unless she was ousted. But these actions have led to campus officials and others to consider whether donors have an outsized role on campuses. For a closer look at this, we want to welcome Mitch Daniels. He is a former Indiana governor, of course, who served as Purdue's president for 10 years until just this past December. And Mitch, thank you for being here. But before we jump into the question of whether donors have too much influence, why don't we start with the situation on college campuses right now? Because I think it's been pretty eye-opening to people who weren't so involved and didn't know exactly what was happening on some of these campuses. Where do you see all of this?
I don't know why anyone was surprised. This was of a piece with everything we've seen over the last couple decades. I think if anyone was surprised, it was some of the people leading these campuses. I've termed it their Bud Light moment when, to their shock, they found out that what the opinion, which is monolithic and unchallengeable on their campus, is not widely held elsewhere in society. But unfortunately, I'm afraid this was all too foreseeable. I tend to be a little more charitable to some of the young people than their presidents and administrators. The young people have been mistaught, miseducated about history in general, the history of Israel. When surveyed, half of them, they knew the chant, but when surveyed, half of them didn't know what river they were talking about. So they've still got a fighting chance to learn something later in life.
What do you think is happening on college campuses? Just this idea of having a one-sided view of things, not being challenged. I don't think it was the case at Purdue and other universities. Where do you think this is happening and why?
It's happening pretty widely, and it's not mysterious. If you have 3 or 4 decades of people picking their own peers, presidents and boards of trustees began delegating, I would say abdicating, their responsibility to oversee educational policy and educational personnel a long time ago. And you've had now 2 or 3 generations of faculty picking their own. It's sort of like watching a fraternity, a bunch of frat guys, they'll pick people left to their own devices just like them. And that's how you get these, 70, 80, 90 to 1 ratios of self-described liberals or Democrats to their conservative counterparts.
So if the question is now whether donors have too much undue influence, what would your response be?
Donors haven't had much influence of any kind, maybe outside athletics. It's been interesting, Becky. I just have observed, even before serving in higher ed, some of the toughest-minded business people and professionals I know, people you'd be happy to have helping lead your company, for instance, put them on a college board and they go all weak in the knee, anything for dear old alma mater, and they have let, in my opinion, far too many unpardonable offenses go unchallenged.
What are the unpardonable offenses that you're talking about, Mitch? I mean, I know we all see it kind of in the zeitgeist today, but what are some examples that you saw maybe at Purdue or at other places that really bothered you and you said, what's going on?
If you're a fan of irony, higher ed's the place to work. I could name a lot of them, but just this week I saw the head of the Association of University Professors wailing about, an authoritarian state. That's the closest models we have of an authoritarian state in America today are college campuses, too many of them, where one dogma is universal. It's as I said, monolithic. People are encouraged to snitch on each other for dissent or violating it, and there's punishment. If you use the wrong, pronoun or something. So, this I think is the product really of the process that I described a little while ago, and I do believe it's somebody's duty. If you read the bylaws of any school I know, it's the board's duty and the people they appoint as their presidents and other administrators to try to protect free speech and try really to ensure some diversity of viewpoint, which is the only kind of diversity not held sacred right now in too many places.
Mitch, I was going to ask you how you fix it. I'm told we have to wrap. That may be a longer conversation, but you basically just think boards need to take control, presidents need to take control again? Because you see them getting forced out. You see them getting forced out now by some of the donors. You can imagine part of the reason they got to this point is that they're worried about getting forced out by the tenured professors.
Well, it's really the board's call, and I hope they do. We need a strong higher ed system in this country. Support for it, commitment to it has been plummeting, not just among wealthy donors. Someone forecast not too long ago that if they don't mend their ways, they'll become the debutante cotillions of the 21st century. A place where, these elite schools, at least, where children of privilege go to meet each other and agree on their own superiority. But beyond that, not much of value to society is happening.